So let's talk about something you might not expect, a video game. But forget saving princesses or fighting aliens. This game is all about simulating the very real and often very hidden emotional struggles of being a scientist. I mean, just look at the game's tagline. It really hits you, right? It immediately sets the tone for something way deeper and more personal than your average game. This isn't just a game, it feels more like a confession. So it begs the question, can you actually bottle up the complex, frustrating, and sometimes soul-crushing reality of academic research and turn it into a game that people can play? Well, let's dive in and see for ourselves. Okay, so you have to ask yourself, who on earth would create a game like this? And maybe more importantly, why? Let's get into the story behind it. The game's called The Scientist Battles. And nope, it's not from some big shot gaming studio. It was actually made by a real biomedical researcher as a way to sort through his own really complicated feelings about his career. The creator, a guy who goes by the name Sean, literally taught himself how to code and built this whole thing while he was unemployed right after getting his PhD. So you know the struggles in the game, they're not just made up, they are coming from a very, very real place. So what's it actually like to play this thing? I mean, how do you even begin to show scientific burnout in a 2D game? Well, you're dropped right into the lab. And that's it. This is your entire world. You've got your lab benches, a centrifuge, some shelves, a super familiar setting that ends up becoming the battleground for all your inner demons. And how do you fight back? Forget a magic sword. Your weapons are just juiced up versions of everyday lab equipment. My personal favorite has to be the pipette knife. It's exactly what it sounds like, part pipette, part knife, and yes, 100% a major lab safety violation. The enemies are also a really clever twist. You're not fighting dragons or goblins. At first, it's simple stuff, like spiders. But the real enemies, the big bosses, they're things like drowsiness, feelings of inadequacy, and just that crushing self-doubt. And then, after your third failed experiment in a row, the game just completely flips the script. Your character has this out-of-body experience and gets trapped inside their own mind, forced to literally fight the parts of themselves that are holding them back. But here's the thing. Those spiders and chemical bombs, they're just the warm-up act. The game quickly shows you that the real monsters aren't creatures at all. They're the pressures of academic research itself. Okay, take this one mission. It's pretty straightforward. You have to collect data so you can submit a paper to a journal. Sounds simple enough, right? The first goal is to collect 20 stacks of data. It feels totally manageable. You're thinking, okay, I can do this, no problem. But the second you hit that goal, you're told it's not enough. Now you need 40. The goalposts just got shoved way down the field. And after you scramble and struggle to get those 40, you guessed it, the target jumps again, this time to 60. It's this maddening, relentless cycle that just perfectly, brilliantly captures that feeling of burnout. And the game doesn't stop there. It throws other all-too-real academic horrors at you. You get your manuscript rejected from a top journal. You get that gut punch feeling when another lab publishes your data first. And you have to deal with constantly seeing your peers succeed while you feel like you're stuck. And all through this, the game's narration is filled with these little lines that are just painfully real for anyone who's ever been in that world. This one, wow. It just perfectly captures that deep, sinking feeling of imposter syndrome, you know? The idea that you're the only one failing while everyone else is just gliding by. And then there's this. So simple, but it just gets right to the heart of it all. That basic human desire to have a purpose, to be recognized, something the daily grind can sometimes make you forget. So after all of this struggle, you have to be wondering, how do you actually win a game that is designed to be so frustrating? Well, it turns out the ultimate power-up isn't found in the game at all. Listen to what the creator, Sean, said himself. For him, the very act of making the game was the victory. It was his way of taking all those feelings of frustration and helplessness and channeling them into something real, something creative. And that's really the secret win condition of the scientist battles. It's not about beating a final boss. It's realizing that you can take all that professional anxiety and turn it into a creative outlet. And that, in itself, is an incredibly powerful way to cope. And you know, Sean is not alone in this. Scientists everywhere are using their creativity to process what they go through. Some write columns, others write poetry, or draw hilarious comics about lab life. Some even make science-themed jewelry or do improv comedy. Which brings it all back to this final thought. In the game, the hero gets a pipette knife to fight back. It's a tool of his job, transformed into a weapon for his own internal battle. So it makes you think, what's your pipette knife? What tool can you transform to fight your own battles?